Oh, I accidentally left the live comments on, but I know no one's going to comment. Anyway, for those of you like me that were just regular born on earth kind of people, you're going to understand what I'm telling you when I tell you that I was advised a long time ago not to smoke weed. You know, they said, don't use drugs. And I kept saying, well, marijuana isn't really a drug. It's more like a medicine, blah, 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 blah. But that was even before the marijuana got tainted with heavy metals and became centralized and under control. That's even before they started poisoning the marijuana like they poison other things in the supply chain that are due for the human beings. So they told me, they advised me through their ways of communicating not to do marijuana, but I did. And the danger for me didn't come so much from the marijuana as from the dealers. Okay? Now, what they deal here in Texas is hemp. I'm pretty sure it's hemp. But Marcus Smith was delivering to me, and he's the one who put the bioweapon on my bed that crawled into my ear and then infected this tooth. Well, this tooth doubled in size, and I can feel pressure on it. I can even feel the organism moving in the gum. And I've been attacking it pretty regularly and, breaking its connection, because the things in my teeth give nutrition to the rest of the bioweapon structure in my body. Well, just a few minutes ago, I opened my door. I had to open my door to put my trash out. The fiber load in here today has been very heavy. I don't know how they're getting in. The door has been blocked, but the fibers have been getting in. And I saw somebody lingering out there. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with this, but my tooth broke. Can you see it? Can you see it? The big tooth that's been giving me trouble, that I put fillings in myself again and again because it's split wide open, double size. Well, now it's broken. It was cracked. It was loose. I thought I kind of stabilized it, but now it's broken. And this one is also under a pretty heavy thread. I don't even know what craziness is going on there. I would show you, but I don't want to gross you out and embarrass myself. But when the dentists are in collusion with the enemies of human beings, it's really hard to know what dentist to trust. Plus, it's dangerous outside for me. More dangerous than it is locked in this concentration camp. Okay? And I don't have a car anyway to get there or anything. I'm here by myself. So my tooth is broken, and that's really upsetting to me because it's just signaling, a breakdown. Signaling a breakdown. And I still feel the organisms in my ear. They're still occupying my body. And while it's true, I think I'm making headway defeating it, its ability to regenerate is profound. So now my tooth is broken. And I don't know how long it'll be before it just really falls right out of my head. And this in my arm was itching and throbbing because I think that the cures are starting to kill off the population. And I think that because the population is being killed off, the organism that was like a clam holding my tooth together, well, it's dying. So the tooth is breaking up. The tooth is breaking up because those pseudopods that were inserting down into the place where I used to have dentin and dental nerves, those pseudopods are dying off. So what's holding my teeth in my head since the invasion of my mouth that started with Edmund Eves in Penyan in Eves Family Dentistry, but he's in Florida now. It started with that when he implanted these infected caps into my teeth that have hatched, that were part of the hatching of things, that when the ear infection began, it stimulated this and things unite. There's a synergy, okay? The people that put this disease together, they like puzzles and things like that. They've created a bioweapon that works through my entire body. Okay? And now that I'm fighting back, well, just like when you detox, you have herxing. When you kill the bioweapon that's taking over your body, you're going to have side effects. So this is really scary, having my teeth fall out. You know, I spent a lot of money on dentistry. Those Invisalign braces put micro cracks in my teeth that enabled the growth of the organisms. They need air, they need food. But now they're dying, so they're not able to hold my teeth together anymore. These teeth here, this teeth here. And it's scary. I'm not a dentist. I need help. I need help. I need help. And that's how I feel. It's like I need help, but there is no help. This is a war. Well, I was just listening to Laura Eisenhower there on Before It's News. And Before It's News has a whole lot of fake news propaganda, so you have to really sort through there. But Laura Eisenhower was talking about the good ETs and the bad ETs and the war and Valiant Thor and things like that. And I slept through a lot of it because I didn't get much sleep last night. But I was able to hear enough to know that we're still not in the clear. That unless people really get woke and start to acknowledge that we are not alone here, that there are fibers that can infiltrate our bodies, fibers that can attack us, that there are things that can crawl into our ears, and that they're being spread through marijuana, okay? Because the first attack that Marcus and Kedra Smith did on me was the worm that they put in my ear. And when they thought it didn't take effect, they put another worm here, and I was actually able to see it. But I took it out. I destroyed it because I didn't know how powerful or weak it was. I threw it out, you know, after examining it. And, you know, then that affects my teeth. It activates creatures in my gums. And then the other enemies shoot me with projectiles, you know, do things to hurt my eyes. I'm sorry, I know it's really aggravating to watch me rub my face, but they're really trying to get me. And the Vaseline blocks them. And the caps on my ears block them too, but they're still in here hanging around. And it's very annoying. So I know it's annoying to watch me touch my face, and I'll try to stop. Anyway, my tooth broke, and I'm really sad. And I'm really wondering when my status is going to change. You know, somebody told me yesterday that I shouldn't be worried, that the worst of it is over now, and that we're really just in the cleanup. This is what somebody important told me. And I'm just warning you that cleanup isn't over. That being overconfident about this being the end, about our victory, would be a big mistake, because there's still going to be continuing consequences to the things that have happened. Like maybe your teeth will fall out. I don't know. Look at that. And it was funny, I had just looked at somebody outside my door. Somebody's outside my door eating, hanging out on the stairs, just when I opened the door, and then the tooth falls out. But it was going to fall out anyway. It was so loose. It's still loose. It's anchored in there now, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. You know, it's probably going to start to hurt more than it does usually. And the thing about bioweapons is they live inside of you. So even if you hide, they are still going to grow and attack you. And I just want to ask the good ETs to pay some attention to me, to send me the next wave of frequencies that will abate this nuisance inside my body. I also really want more information about when I will be liberated from the concentration camp. I'm starting to just have fantasies of running out of here screaming. Look at that. Man, I took such good care of my teeth. It just makes me so sad to know. But you know, my mom took pretty good care of her health before Johns Hopkins Hospital took her out. Anyway, today I saw the student protests are much more widespread than I had thought. Northwestern University had a protest as well. There on Deering Meadow. They also had a protest. And they, like the other universities, are a lot more concerned with saving the European students and protecting the Jews than they are with being real Americans. As I told you, Northwestern University Presidents Levine and Shapiro, Raymond Mack, the provost, other leaders of Northwestern University have been involved with European military organizations, the Navy. They're not just an institute of higher learning. They are a fort for taking over the world. And I don't know exactly what we average citizens can do about this, but I must speak for the students. Just like Raymond Mack targeted me and made sure I would end up here at this time instead of financially empowered, when he blacklisted me at Northwestern and made sure I'd get out late, and then all of the other enemies that followed in line, the typical targeted individual's life. And I found out today that Laura Eisenhower also had a targeted individual life because her father was also fighting back against the evil ETs and the Europeans that are in the first line of their management teams. So while we might be getting out of this, I'm not seeing enough evidence in my personal life. The stomach pain I'm having today was pretty intense. I don't know if my food is safe to eat, and that's frightening because of these side effects. I don't know what is growing in my body, if it's benevolent or evil. But my most important worry and concern is getting out of here. You know, I really want to start my Star Trek life. But then I realized that Star Trek was really involved with warring worlds. So the idea of escaping war, escaping hardship, isn't necessarily a part of the future when we get out of here. I'd like to think that there is a place where we can relax, a place where we can have respite, a place where there isn't corruption and immorality, a place like heaven where we can at least stop for a minute and gather our breath before we get out into the universe to try to continue this war. The thing about war that's most upsetting is, unlike war in a movie that has an end to it, real war goes on and on and on. It does. Now, we've been told by the Bible and other kinds of prophetic sources that this particular war is, between good and evil, and that it's going to really be a war against the devil and God, and that God wins. But I don't think this is going to be a final victory, right? I just don't. But I'm really eager to be liberated. I'm really eager to get professional dental help. I'm really eager to get some medical tests and to have the bioweapons routed out. Because if this is just a long, slow, miserable death, I object. I object to the enemies of America having access to bioweapons and using them on me. I object, I object, I object. And the ability to administer dentistry to myself. Well, I had a good run, you know. This started what? Marcus deployed that weapon in October, but it took a while for it to actually get to my tooth and bust my tooth. So it hasn't even been, that long that I've been under attack. But, ask yourself, after a patient is diagnosed with cancer, they can fight that cancer for several months before the cancer takes them out. And if I had gone to the doctor, they would have diagnosed me with cancer, because that's where the money is to treat people for cancer. And I'd probably be dead by now. So I am on the upside of the equation. And I want to be optimistic, and I want to be positive, and I want to say things that are going to make you, have faith in the future. But these doggone fibers, I don't even know how they get in. I had my door blocked for hours, but I did have, the cracks in my door are pretty big, and the fibers are really small. I mean, they are nanofibers, so they are very tiny. But they do create those Morgellon clumps, and I don't know. I'm slowly cleaning my room, slowly getting it, into some kind of order. But being in prison is hard, especially when you're innocent and you're good, and you didn't cheat, and you didn't steal, and you didn't kill anyone, but you still end up, punished. And I know this isn't my karma. Because I didn't do anything to deserve this in this or any other life. But going through all this is like paying it forward. At least that's what they told me. When they first started to communicate with me, and let me remind you, they don't communicate with you straightforwardly. You communicate in a semi-dream state. You communicate through messages sent to you, through cyberspace, through people you might see, through certain keywords, through places that you might go to get advice or information. They use a lot of ways to communicate with us. And one of the things that they told me when they were first deploying me, after my preliminary training, and they were first deploying me, one of the things they told me is, you've got very good karma. I learned that when I died. When I died, they said that you just hurt one person, and it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a recoverable error. So I'm not going to say I'm a perfect person, but I'm going to say I'm pretty near to a perfect person. I did not make mistakes. So I know that all these things that are happening to me, all these attacks, they're not karma. They're nothing I brought to myself. They're nothing I deserve. These are attacks on innocent people, attacks on God's people, attacks on God's warriors. So don't you feel like the terrible things that are happening to you are things that you deserve. Don't you feel that you did anything in this or any other previous lives to deserve the kind of attacks that are coming upon you now. You are being attacked because this is war. And to the fallen angels and their armies of bad ETs, and to the evil ones that are all about us, and to the Europeans that are here, that are not a part of the white hats, all of those people are attacking you because you are God's people, because you are the 144,000. And I'm pretty sure that these bioweapons are meant to infiltrate our bodies, to infiltrate us with evil consciousnesses that wish to escape this planet when we leave. And that must be prohibited. That must be forbidden. And when will we leave? Will it be in my lifetime, or will I die before I get out? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Wait and see. We have no choice but to wait and see.